Hello. Since my group members weren't able to make it to our meeting, I thought I would just kind of go through and answer some of the questions myself, and then share those on the discussion board so everyone can see my answers to these questions. I thought they were really good. I really enjoyed the material this week, and and thinking about how the government can uh, help more, or in some cases help less, to help us to truly be free and independent as a nation and as a people. So the first question is, based on what you have read in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, DNC 134, and Elder Christofferson's talk, what could the government be doing right now to help in fighting your threat to children and families more effectively? My thought is that the government could give uh, power to the families. So my threat is childless marriages, those who are deciding not to have children, or at least postponing it for a long time, and I really do think that this is a threat, and that how it is affecting the population, and eventually how it will affect our nation and its economy with what can the government be doing right now to help in fighting this threat? Is I think that they could give more power to the families. I think the government is trying to take so much of the power that families almost feel, in some ways, powerless in what they teach and what they can give to their families, and so um, in the government taking control of education and everything like that. I think if more was focused on families teaching their children the um, moral discipline that they need to be able to make wise choices, then that way families will become the central place of where people are learned and taught, and then people will recognize less important, and families become, and the less um, powerful they become. And really, for a nation to be powerful, the power, a lot of the power needs to be given to the families. So that's what I think, that there could be more emphasis on giving power and strengthen the families. Does it seem that the government is effective? To me, it seems like they try to be. I don't think a lot of times the government goes out and tries to be ineffective. Um, but I think in many ways, especially with some of the videos that we watched, or the video that we watched, that they, instead of strengthening people, they're really weakening them, and that they're become and that what they're doing is causing people to become more dependent on the government, or on government sources of money, or whatever. And so I think that in many ways what the government is doing is breeding this sense of entitlement into people and into individuals, and that is hurting the nation more than it is helping the nation. And so that is why I think that they are somewhat ineffective. Do you feel that the United States government has deviated from or strayed at all from the language in their founding documents? Why or why not? If so, in what way has it deviated or strayed? Well, I think this goes along a little bit with the last question, and the ideas that go along with that, in that the documents created by the founding fathers were about independence and building freedom, right? And so the way that uh, in many instances, what the government is trying to do is taking away that ability for people to be truly independent and free from relying on the government, or relying on them to answer all their problems, or to give them the money that they need, or whatever. And And so in many ways, I think yes, I think they have strayed from that original language because it was about freedom and power of the people and the strength of that we have as we establish a just society. And so um, yeah, I think that we could do better as a people and as a government to go back and study these documents and make them a part of our lives. I think they're so powerful, so wonderful that we can have them and look back at these people who founded our nation and the strength that they had and what they believed that we could become and do as we truly became independent uh, and free. Hello, Christofferson is speaking about the root of the problem in many of your topics. How then can you use this counsel to aid you in your approach to advocating your cause at the government and community level? I loved Elder Christofferson's talk. That was so good about moral discipline and it's the families is where we receive that strength. Let me go. Let me find something I wanted to share that I really enjoyed. Okay, after he told the story about President Faust, I love this part. He said, President Faust recognized that we all possess the God-given gift of moral agency, the right to make choices, and the obligation to account for those choices. We have been given agency, but we also recognize that there is some form of accountability connected to that agency that uh, we can choose, but we also choose the consequence as well, and so we have to be accountable for the choices that we make. Then he goes on, and he also understood and demonstrated that for positive outcomes, moral agency must be accompanied by moral discipline. Um, I think this idea of moral discipline is so powerful and definitely what the world needs. As I was reading this talk, I was like, yes, yes, like this is what we need to hear, and what many of the people around me that I have the opportunity to associate with, they need to hear that. There's another part here. This part is also what I love. The root of the word discipline is shared by the word disciple, suggesting to the mind the fact that conformity to the example and teachings of Jesus Christ is the idea discipline that coupled with his grace forms a virtuous and morally excellent person. And that's truly what I want to be is a disciplined disciple of Jesus Christ. I know that as we practice moral discipline in ourselves and as examples to our families, and we teach our children the truths of the gospel and expect and help them be accountable for their actions and how they choose to use their agency, and then that strength within families can change the world. And I truly believe that. I am grateful for the opportunity this week to read the documents of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution and from the Doctrine and Covenants and also this talk. And I believe that it's something I needed as a reminder to be more disciplined and